Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. So let's just jump right into it. So every night and every day I'm on YouTube, and I spend hours a day on YouTube, and I figured that this would be a really good video. It kind of inspired me to do a video of why I'm here on YouTube, what's my goal, and pretty much how I got here. And so yeah, at least for me, and I think and I know a bunch of other people that they like to know a little bit more, like on the personal level, and more about this person, of like who they are, who's behind the camera, who's in front of their computer screen, their tablet, their phone, their TV, wherever they're watching them from, because everybody likes to watch people that they feel like they know, that's giving them like advice and stuff like that. So this just inspired me to do the video, and so let's just jump right into like this story of like how I'm here today. And sorry, it's like I'm like a hot mess. It's the end of the day. It's actually Thanksgiving night, so I'm about to, after this, I'm just gonna take off my makeup and get my PJs on, watch some TV and some YouTube. But yeah, so when I was 7th grade, I started wearing mascara like here and there. 8th grade was a little bit eyeliner and mascara, eyeshadow occasionally. Of course, I didn't know anything. I just knew what it was, and like I didn't know anything about primers. I knew what foundation was, but it wasn't my interest. It was very, very basic. And my 8th grade year and the end of my 6th grade year, I was bullied more toward those end of years. So that was a really sad time for me. It was like to the point where I just didn't want to go to school. And then high school came along. I kind of got into a little bit more into makeup, not like as I knew what primer was. Like I wasn't on that level yet. And so but yeah, I kind of wear like I started wearing eyeshadow every day, and I started wearing falsies occasionally freshman year, and then started junior year I started filling in my eyebrows and wearing falsies. Let's go to senior year. I wanted to get more into makeup. Like I wanted to like get a little bit more pretty and stuff like that. So what's a girl like not to go to Sephora, and it's around formal time of my senior year. So I go to Sephora, and everybody's got to start somewhere. I asked the Sephora lady, I was like, do you guys carry NYX? And she kind of looked at me and she's like, what? And like she didn't like I could see that she was judging me now that I look back at it, but she's just like, oh, sorry, we don't carry that, but what are you looking for? And I was like, I'm looking for something, and my favorite YouTuber of all times was Karis Lincoln. She's known as Charisma Star on TV. She was a huge inspiration to me. I loved her videos. I loved her makeup. I still love her. I've met her. She's such a sweetheart. She is like one of the most down-to-earth people. So like full of joy. She has like a heart after God, and so she was the person like I looked like up to, and I looked for her new videos all the time. And she loves NYX, so that's why it kind of just gave me the idea just to go to NYX. I didn't know it was a drugstore brand at the time. And so she's like, no, well, what are you looking for? And I was like, I kind of looking for something for shimmer, and Karis loves shimmer. She loves to sparkle. And I was like, and something that like lasts all day, and Karis would always talk about a base. And so she was like, oh, sorry, we don't have that, but we have this. And she showed me Urban Decay's Primer Potion, and at the time Sephora carried Lorac, and they had Lorac 3D Lusters. And it's like a drop, and it's very fine. You can put it anywhere, like eyeshadow, your body, and pretty much anywhere you want. You can even put it as a highlighter. And so I was like, okay. Those are my first two purchases from Sephora. And then I ended up going back to Sephora, of course, and I was like, well, like at the time I filled in my eyebrows with pencil. Like I went through so many eyebrow stages in high school, it was ridiculous. Like I went through the sperm brow, I went through the chola brow, I went through the really really thick arched like evil looking brows. Like I went through it all. So I was like, I wasn't happy with them. So I went back to Sephora and I was like, I'm looking for something for my eyebrows. And so at the time I didn't know what Anastasia was, and she goes, oh, we have Anastasia, and she's like kind of showing me like what it is. And I ended up purchasing the Anastasia Brow Express. It comes with the brow powders, the shimmers, and the wax, and like some stencils and a brush and a mirror and stuff like that. So I ended up purchasing that. And like I was just when I would go home, I would be practicing myself, and I'd be watching on YouTube of how to use this and blah blah blah. And so then that's like when I started kind of like loving makeup and loving like what to do with it and all that stuff. And toward that around that time, when I'm like the first time I'm going to Sephora, I get my heart broken. And it was such a devastating time in my life. I was so sad, I was so depressed, and I went through these like weird phases. Like I had a phase that like I wanted to move like hours away, like to my sister's. She lives in San Diego, so I wanted to move there. And then there's like times where like I went, like through that time I went vegan for some reason, and I'm a huge carnivore. Like give me a big old piece of steak. So I'm a huge carnivore. For some reason, like I went vegan for 3 months, and like the first few weeks, like my weight dropped dramatically. I would not recommend it. I dropped like 15 pounds in like 2 weeks. I would not recommend that. That's very unhealthy for you. I would go like days without eating, and like my stomach, it would be growling like every like 15 minutes. It'd be rumbling for like a good minute. And then people were like, it was getting to the point where it was like really loud, and people were just like, why are you so hungry? And I'm like, I'm not hungry, I promise, I'm not hungry. And like my like physically I was hungry, but my mind mentally was not communicating. Like it just was not working out. And so I would go like days without eating, and like some people would like watch me eat, making sure I was doing it. And so I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm full, whatever. So it was just a terrible time. That breakup was horrible for me. I did not take it well. So through that time, like I was starving my body. I was very depressed, and also I felt very ugly. I was just like I'm trying to look very pretty. I'm trying to like get better at presenting myself, you know? And so I'm feeling very ugly, no makeup, not even caring about my hair. I'm kind of decently doing whatever with my clothes. I'm trying to like keep it together, but it just was not working out. And so after a while, I was like, okay, I need to start putting on makeup. And like one day I came to work, because I went like 2 months without putting on makeup at work, which is very shocking now. People like see me at work. And so I went like 2 months, and then like one day I magically came in with mascara, and like just mascara, and that was it. And my coworker's like, oh my gosh, Liz, you're wearing makeup today. And I was like, yeah, I'm wearing mascara. And that's like it, just mascara from what I had in like what I wore in like 7th grade. And so so I came in with mascara, and then kind of fast forward a little bit, I'm just kind of like, I'm like, okay, I need to build up my confidence again. And so I'm like kind of realizing, I was like, wow, I kind of have like this extra money, you know? And so what's a girl not to go to MAC? So it's my first, like I decided to go to MAC. It's my first time at MAC. I mean, I've walked by it a few times. I've never like actually taken a look at MAC and see what it's all about. I didn't know what Back to MAC was. I didn't know what the Viva Glam was. Like I didn't know all that. And so I will never forget this day. So I go to MAC, and I didn't really know what I wanted, but I knew I wanted something. And so I go to MAC, and this guy named John He's super sweet. He's awesome. I love his makeup's always on point. He still works there. I see him once in a while. And so I go to Mac, and this guy John, he's like, oh hey, what can I help you with? You know, he's being super nice about it. And I was like, you know what, I'm not sure what I really want, but I think I want a foundation. And he's like, oh okay, you know, I can help you with that. And at the time I thought I was dry, but like, you know, because I didn't really know much back then. But now I know that I'm really oily. And so and then he's like, you know, what kind of coverage do you want? And I was like, I don't know, maybe like a full coverage, you know, because I have like acne scars and dark spots and stuff. And so he recommended Studio Sculpt, was actually, this foundation is absolutely super amazing, but he recommended Studio Sculpt. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And he's like kind of putting it on me while, like, you know, we're doing the shopping together. And so he puts it all over my face, and he's like, this is like a really good match for you. So I was like, yeah, I was like, put that in the bag. So he's like, you know, do you have like a concealer to go with it? And I was like, no. I was like, what do you recommend? And he's like, well, this is like a really light coverage. It'll give you a really nice highlight. But you know, I didn't know much. You gotta remember that. So he's kind of trying to educate me at the same time, which can be very frustrating, I guess, if they don't know that you're a first time customer there. So that's why you always gotta be like nice to people, in case like it's like their legit first time. And so he's like, oh, I have Studio Finish concealer, which is like this one. And so he said it's a full coverage, and you know, I want to look so flawless, I want to look so pretty, and that, like, you know, my skin was just like so perfect. And so I was like, oh, okay. And then he's like, you know, do you need some brushes? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't really have, I was like, I have the paddle one. I was like, but I don't really like it that much. And he's like, okay. So he recommended this dual fiber one. He goes, yeah, you just kind of pat the skin and buff it out, and makes this like really nice airbrush look. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, get that for me. And so then we end up getting like a blush, a couple more powders, more brushes, and some lipsticks and lip liners, and like makeup remover, and brush cleaners and stuff like that. Like I came in for a couple things, and I like freaking went a haul. And so I was like, okay. And he was super nice about it, and I could tell he was like really excited, you know, because he ended up finding out it was my first time. And like, as I told you, like, he's putting this stuff, like putting makeup on me while he's like, you know, demonstrating like how to use it. So he's putting on me, and like I came in with no makeup. And so he's just like, so he's like, oh yeah, because this is what it looks like completed. And I like looked at myself, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I felt so pretty. I like I would never forget the day that John like made me like get my confidence back, because when I came into Mac that day, my self-esteem was so low, it was almost not even existing. And by the time I left Mac, it was like my self-esteem went skyrocket. And so I felt so pretty. I felt that he just like made me feel so much better. Like he made my acne like blemishes look like, or scars, like made it look like it disappeared. He made my face look slimmer. He like fixed my eyebrows, and like also get some eyelashes. And so I purchased the eyelashes he put on too. And so it was just like, oh my gosh, I couldn't thank him enough. He just made me feel so pretty. And then so then, you know, it seemed like every other day I was like going back to Mac, and I kind of like ended up making friends with some people. And like I was just like, I'd spend like $60 on like Monday, and then go back on Wednesday, spend another $60, and all this stuff. So then eventually my collection started growing. And as I told you earlier, that every time I would purchase something, I would go on YouTube and watch like more of how to use it, or if there's like multiple uses out of it. And so and then it came to my conclusion. I was like, oh my gosh, I can totally do this. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can totally do this. Like, I should create a YouTube channel. And so I didn't really talk to anybody about it. I just kind of I feel like I didn't need anybody's permission if I should start a YouTube channel. But I just went ahead and did it. I didn't have a camera at the time. all I had was my MacBook and its computer, its camera web. So that's all I had. I had the old version of iMovie, and yeah, so I just started from that. And so I thought it was like the best quality ever, but you know, we all gotta start somewhere and we all gotta learn. And so I created that, and my goal was to make people feel so pretty and give them the confidence that they didn't have before. And if someone comes in with like little self-esteem like I did, or no self-esteem, and they end that video with so much confidence and that I can wear this bold lip, or I know how, like, I'm gonna practice filling in my eyebrows, or I know how to cover this acne blemishes, you know. So that was my goal. And so skip almost a year later, you know, I'm happy, I'm doing YouTube, like, I'm getting better at makeup the more I practice it, and I'm starting to get clients coming in and all that stuff. So I'm like, you know, pursuing this, like, I wanted this to be as my career. And so my coworker, she doesn't work with me anymore, but my old coworker, she got this girl hired. And so she is like, you know, she's really shy, she's had a very sheltered family, and you know, what's it called, she's had a very sheltered family, and so you know, can you just, like, you know, be nice to her? And so I was like, yeah. And and I remember my friend told me one time, she's like, Liz, you know, you're like a very nice person, you always come in with like welcoming arms. And that kind of stuck with me. And I remember one time me and a couple other friends, we all went out to lunch, and I said, hey, I'm gonna bring this girl, and then people were just like, oh, like, why are you bringing her, you know, like, why, and blah blah blah. And then I was just like, cause she's my friend, you know, I want her to have a good time. And so but eventually now they're like really cool with each other. So I ended up bringing her. She felt really welcome, and she was brand new to our store at the time, so that's why I brought her. I want her to feel like, you know, the girls love her and stuff like that. And so but anyways, so I was like, yeah, I'll be nice to her. And she was like very shy, and then she kind of got out of her shell. And then a few weeks later, she ends up getting her heart broken. And I'm like giving her this advice. I'm like, wow, I was like, you're going through the same thing I did. I was like, I know exactly how you feel. And I'm like naming all this stuff. I was like, you probably feel so sad, you want to crawl in a hole and die, you probably feel super ugly, and blah blah blah. And she's like, wow, it's like you're reading my mind. And I was like, because I know exactly what you're going through. And I told her what happened with me and going to MAG, and how makeup made me feel confident. And so so kind of fast forwarded, her heart's still broken, but she's like kind of, you know, taking it day by day. She's being happier, like, as time goes on. But then later she ends up getting kicked out. And so I was like, she comes to me and she's like, Liz, I don't know what to do. It's like the middle of the night, and she's like, I don't know what to do. She's like crying her eyes out. And I was like, you know what? I was like, you can come live with me. I was like, we won't have to charge you or anything like that. She's like, are you serious? And so she's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, just come live with me. I was like, it's okay if we even gotta share the same bed, you know. And so this was earlier this year. This was before summer started, like right before summer, that I met her. But she moved in like she moved in about a month and a half ago. So we've known each other for about 6 months now. And so she ends up moving in, and she every day she's watching me, and she also sees it, my makeup and my vanity, and she's like, you know, watching me do this, and she's asking me questions. And like, I do her makeup, and like, she feels so pretty, and she feels like she has like confidence, and like she's like, oh my gosh, like these lashes. Or I've even, like, the simplest things I've done for her, like I've plucked in, like, she has very like thick brows, I should say, and I plucked her eyebrows and trimmed them down for her. and like even that just made her like feel like, oh my gosh, you know, like I feel super pretty about it. And so like her, just like me inspiring her to feel pretty, and not just from like physical, but mentally she got like self-esteem. So that is my goal. That was like my ultimate goal. Even if it's just like one person, that is just like, it was just like what I was, that was what I was reaching for. So yeah, so this is pretty much where I am today. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of just getting to know me a little bit better, and where I was then and where I am now. And so I hope if this video inspired you at all, just let me know, or give me a thumbs up, or subscribe, or anything you'd like to do. I love reading you guys' comments and replying to them. But yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.